Hello. So today I wanted to go over two different ways you can steep your tea, and I'm going to do two different teas and show you different ways you can drink it. So I'm going to start with so we have a minty blend that's more of a basic green tea. Then we have a chocolate spice, so it's just a chocolatey tea that's probably pairs well as a latte. So first, for one, we're going to use our steeper. This allows you to steep your tea, and then you clean this out and you use it again. And then we're going to use a tea bag. So most of us are familiar with these, and we're going to steep one like that. So for the first one, I'm actually going to switch those two. For the basic green tea, herbal blend, something like that, that's what we're going to think of this one as. We're going to take, so this is probably only enough for about 4 ounces of tea, 4 ounces of water. So you do 1 teaspoon for each 8 ounces of tea. But I'm an oversteeper, so I'm going to do 1 teaspoon for my 4 ounces. It's really up to you. So you close that up. Once you put your tea inside, close it up, drop it into your cup. Now for this one, we're going to do the same thing with the measurement. Now these chocolatey blends are a lot stronger, so it doesn't really take much. So you can see about how much I put on there. You drop it in there. So now for the fun part. Oof, a little spice got in my throat. Alright. So we're going to take our boiled water. So you're going to boil water, and we're going to pour it over the tea. And you just want to make sure that the water goes above where the tea is. You can do as much or as little as you'd like. Alright. So you can kind of see as the color starts to come in as it's steeping. So now, this is a green tea on this side. This is our mint focus green tea. So for green tea, you usually steep 2 to 3 minutes. If you steep too long, then you'll get a bitter taste. Some people like it, some people don't. Then you have, this one is an herbal blend. So herbal blends, you can steep them as long as you want or as short as you want. The longer you steep it, the stronger the flavor. And if you were to have a black tea, because sometimes we pair the chocolate ones, you see those paired with black teas, Darjeeling, oolong, and for those, you can steep 5 to 7 minutes. Me personally, I always oversteep. So, we're gonna wait on these to steep, to finish steeping, and then we'll start now. Now, while these teas are steeping, for our chocolate one, we're actually gonna make it into a latte. So I'm gonna show you how to do that while we wait. So we have actual measurement things that we use. You can use a regular mug, a cup, whatever you want to use. And we can kind of just use what we got. So if you have milk, you can use that. If you have creamer, you can use that. I like to use creamer because I like mine to be a little sweeter. So what I'm gonna do, so I feel like this one's perfect for the holidays, but I have a hazelnut creamer, and that's what I'm gonna use. And I typically measure at about 2 tablespoons, or 4 if you're drinking a really big cup. And I'm just gonna pour it with my eyes here. And as you can see, it's in the bottom. Now, for the fun part, I like to use a frother. So these frothers allow you to get the fluffy latte that you see on TV or when you go to Starbucks or anything like that. But you can do it at home. You don't need to go. So you just take this and you turn it on and you start spinning it. And it spins. I'm going to come closer because I don't think you can see. It spins it and it's fluffing it up. So I don't have a lot in there, so it's a little harder to get the fluff you want. So I'm actually going to pour some more. Now, if you're using a mug and you don't want this to make your tea cold, because it did come out of the fridge, then I would suggest heating your froth up for only, or your milk up only for like 10 seconds though. And if you're using this, you definitely can't put this in the microwave. So I like to take it out, froth it, and then let it sit so that it's like room temperature when I put it in my tray. So this one is really thick. So it's taking a little longer to froth it. So I'm gonna give it a break, and then when my tea is about ready to drink, I will froth it up a little more. So next, and I want to do this video for those who are new to tea, those who've been drinking tea but want something new to try. You want a different way to drink your tea. So I'm just gonna check on our green tea, and it's steeped, and it's probably steeped enough, long enough, but it depends on your preference. So I like mine to get a little, I want to get the mint out of it too, so. But we'll go ahead, while the chocolate one continues to steep, we'll take out the mint. So this is our basic green tea again, so we should only steep it for 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll take that out, and this is what your bag will look like. So we can toss that to the side. You can take a sip. I always recommend sipping before sweetening. It's pretty hot, so you also probably want to wait. But I'm going to use, we want to use sugar or honey. I'm going to use honey for this one. So I'm going to take my honey, and I'm going to measure 1 tablespoon. May not even need that, because remember, this one is a smaller cup. Most people drink out of 10 ounce to 12 ounce cups anyway though. So I usually do about 2 teaspoons of honey when I'm making a normal size drink. Alright, so I'm going to swirl that around, mix that in. And I'm going to sip again, because I recommend sipping every time you do something different to your tea, so you can kind of get to know it, figure out what you like the best. Delightful. So next, for a little fun for our green tea, I actually cut up a lemon slice, and so I'm going to squeeze some of that in here, however much you are comfortable with, and then I'm just going to drop it in. And then I also have a piece of fresh ginger that I cut up, and I'm going to break it in half so that I can get some of that inside part, and I'm just going to drop it in there. And I mean, that's a simple, basic green tea with an extra kick, because we added in something else for our recipe. I'm going to taste it, and then I'm going to let it sit a little longer so that we can get some of that flavor out of the ginger. That's good. Alright, so that was our green tea. Actually, I want you to be able to see it. Alright. So here's our chocolate tea that we're going to make into a latte. So if you can kind of see the flavor, the color, when it's pretty much done steeping. So if you have this strainer, so just take it out of your cup, set it to the side, and choose your sweetener. But first, we're going to take a sip to test it out. Okay. So, and when you drink flavors like this, when you put the sweetener in it, it brings out the flavor more. Like, you'll be able to taste that chocolate and that kick that comes with this one. So next, I'm going to grab my sugar. Found me a nice sugar bowl at the at-home store. Alright, so I'm going to measure, I'm going to take out 1 teaspoon of sugar and put it in there. Just because I'm used to doing it, I don't typically measure it, I just eyeball it. But I definitely say on the first time, if this is your first time drinking tea, you should measure. Alright. So, we can taste this one out. And you can definitely taste the chocolatey part, and then that extra kick at the end, because this one is our chocolate spice, so it's spicier. All right, next, we're gonna do the fun part. So I'm gonna froth again just to thicken it up. But you don't have to have coffee to get a latte, nothing against coffee. But some people don't want the caffeine. Coffee doesn't sit well with their stomach. And you can still get a latte drinking tea. Alright, so we're gonna say that we frothed it enough and it's ready to go. And when I say frothing it, it really just thickens the mixture so that you get that foamy look that you always see. So we're gonna pour it in, and you can kind of see it fill up in your cup. Alright, and then I'm gonna take some of the thicker parts of the foam and just put it on top, just for looks purposes. This is definitely going to sweeten your drink a lot. Alright, and then, because I just like to do the most, I'm going to drizzle some honey on top. And we're ready to take our sip. My milk mustache, and that is our chocolate latte blend. So if you have any questions on how to do it, leave it in the comments, reach out to us, message us. Any suggestions you have, share them with us, take pictures with your drinks, and show us how you're making your lattes, how you're making your green teas or herbal teas. And